Well, welcome back to my channel. This is the first race of 2024 and my first winter race. So, Second Year Club put on the Frozen Nut here at Thorn Valley Ranch. I've never been to this venue before. It's close to Drumheller and actually a really neat piece of property. So, looking forward to coming back here maybe in the summertime. But yeah, this is the first race of the season. Just a fun winter race. Minus 17 for race one, so it was a little bit chilly, but we pressed on anyways. So here you go. Hope you enjoy. Moving into last place. I was totally fine with that. I just thought I really don't want to come into contact with anybody else's wheels. These studs are extremely dangerous, so I'll let these guys take off and I'll just chase them around. So I was content to do that. This course is sort of part moto, part grass track, and then part enduro. And unfortunately, I think just the nature of this sort of race, you really have a hard time running people through the gnarly enduro sections. It just jams up and it would be a nightmare. So it wasn't, there wasn't a lot of really challenging areas here, although later on you'll see there's a couple hills that if you slow down on, you just come to a grinding halt and it's impossible to get going again. So lots of cool features in the background, and after the races we went and played on some of them, and yeah, there's a lot of fun to be had here. So I know you can go camping here in summertime and pay a small fee and have the ability to camp and ride, so probably worth checking out next year. As you can see from the video, this is lap 1, race 1. I'm not familiar with this at all, so I didn't know where the heck to go. But yeah, you drop down this hill, and I like fast downhills, so it was a good place to make up a few positions in this race. And you might notice the big chunks of dirt flying up because you're on the binders going down the hill, and the studs just seem to collect the mud, so it ended up getting shot up all over the place. And I'm not sure where that guy was going. Obviously took a wrong turn and he's got to get back on course. But yeah, we did a little switchback here, and we don't really get a chance to ride this face a whole lot, but when it was minus 17, everything was frozen here now, and then later in the afternoon it was probably closer to 0, and this was all really mucky and muddy, so my bike is really gross right now. Today I decided that I was going to take out my motocross bike. It's the TC 250 TBI 2023 that I picked up kind of midsummer and didn't really ride it at all, and then broke the subframe on my 300 XC over the winter, and so I started riding this thing while that was getting repaired, and it's a fun bike. It's 5-speed, smaller tank, 19-inch rear, but it wants to get up and go pretty good. So it's a fun bike to ride, and fairly similar to the 300. I find this actually climbs some hills better than the 300. Just I can do them in first gear and zap them. So fun bike to ride. Second moto, I tucked the front and went down, but this stuff is so slippery. It's deceiving right now. And once, I mean, there's ruts there, which I honestly don't like riding in ruts, but that's the only place you're gonna actually have traction. So this is extremely slippery, and you just got to be very delicate. And then when you get on the gas, it doesn't really want to hook up either. You can just light up the rear wheel. So yeah, it's different than riding on just regular rubber for sure. Onto this, I guess it's an old railway bed, really fast section. I mean, I guess you can go as fast as you want on this, but it's pretty scary too, so try not to go too buck wild on it, but yeah. So for the second moto, they cut this section out, and it's deceiving. It looks fine, and it is fine if you're moving forward, but there were, on lap 2, there were people jammed up on here, and we just had nowhere to go, and the traction it's impossible to gain traction on that. Once those studs dig in, you just, you're clawing away at absolutely nothing. So they cut this section out of the second race. So on the first heat here, I was able to get in 2 laps, and then on the second heat, I was able to get in 3 laps. Kind of made a bobble there, but anyways, yeah, when you're hitting this stuff with some momentum, it's not too bad. And if you're trying to start out on it, some of these hills, deceptive how slippery they are. On that second lap, I went off into the bushes and tried to get around these guys, and it was just, it was so greasy. I wore myself out and lost some places, and it was kind of a piss off, but you got to try. I found with the lack of traction, this bike, I stalled it. I can't even count how many times I kept stalling it, and finding that button on the new bikes can be kind of a challenge, so it's frustrating to do that, but such is life. So this they called the waterfall. So I guess a creek. Obviously, there's just sheer ice going up this. So there's spots where there's absolutely zero traction. sure if it was this lap I bobbled around one of these corners. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was pretty slippery. But really cool. I mean, they did a good job of it, you know, hitting some of the cool features. I don't think the B classes didn't run through this. I showed up in the morning and decided I didn't recognize any names on the list, or I mean, very few of them anyways, and so I thought, oh shit, I better I'll go in the fast nut class, which was sort of the top class, because I did recognize one name, PJ, and then when my buddy Mansfield signed up, he saw my name, and so he also signed up for it. So there was a few of us 40A guys in this race, so that was good. I mean, I wasn't trying to race the pros or the experts, but you know, to battle with those guys, we had some good back and forth, so that was fun. Mansfield and I, anyways. A clutch cable on some trees like that, so now when I get them wrapped in there, I take my time and pull them out. Otherwise, you plow forward and whatever the heck is in there is going to get destroyed. Lesson learned. GoPro Hero Max here for this race. It's kind of neat because it keeps everything level, even when you're kind of bent over or whatever. It'll keep the horizon straight across. But this section here, this one right here, was, if you messed up, you'd go to the left and probably be in a world of hurt. So it was pretty dicey. But yeah, I normally use I've had a lot of GoPro cameras, I guess, over the years, but after the last race of the AMSA series last year in September, I went out riding the following weekend at Baseline and managed to smash my Hero 10 and break my wrist while I was at it too, so I had a little holiday from riding, which I guess isn't such a bad thing, but to do it with a broken body kind of sucks. So yeah, now I've got a couple other cameras that I'm using, but I thought we'll give this a shot just because it's a short enough race. The battery will last through it. So. First time through this, it wasn't too bad, but later on there was a big hole there and open water, so it got progressively worse as the day wore on. Something else, I guess, that we've been spoiled this year so far, so I haven't really rode in the snow a whole heck of a lot, to be honest, but the pegs were just so slippery. I had to stop in the first race here, I think on lap 2, and pull, maybe it was the second race, anyways, pull a bunch of snow out because I couldn't, my foot would just slide off, at least my right foot anyways, with the brake and everything. It was so jammed up with snow and ice. So yeah, something different that you don't run into that problem, I guess, in the summertime, but deal with it, right? So greasy, almost high-sided. Love it. Just thank my sponsors here, which would be Lloyd Sad Navicord. That's actually where I work. I'm a commercial insurance broker, by the way. Desk job during the day, and Wiseman Contracting, and Enduro Revolution, and then this year I hooked up with Ben at First Track, so I'm gonna be running some of his decals and a lot of his parts. He's been great over the years, hooked me up with all kinds of goodies and doodads for my bikes, so yeah, definitely support any one of those companies because they're all great. There's another race here in March, so hopefully we'll see some more people out there for that one. I think there was a pretty good turnout for this. It's a bit of a commute for anybody that lives in the Edmonton area, but for the Calgary folks, this is close by, and I think that other race is sort of middle ground between the two big cities. So yeah, looking forward to that race in another month. This bike, I don't have any decals on it, so I had a sticker on the side of my helmet, which is why I'm yelling out my numbers. But yeah, no, thanks for watching. It was a great day, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys out on the trails.